morning to you. It must be 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this beautiful Wednesday, May the 12th of 2021, because it's time for another Hardison's Tip. I'm your host, Brandon Hardison. Glad to be with you. We do what we do for all of our brothers and sisters that are in the sales world, whether you are key account, major account, up and down the street, in home sales, retail sales, automotive sales. We try to give you something that you can implement comfortably or take something away from to improve your lives. Now, I know you're getting dressed to get going, so we're going to pick it up. All this week, we're talking about phone skills because many of us from time to time have to be on the phone. Now, for those that are on the phone for a job in a call center, or maybe you work for a business development center or traditional internet, we're trying to give you some ideas. So, continuing on with our phone skills, we were talking about neuro linguistic programming. In other words, the exact science of how people take in information, whether it's auditory, visual, or kinesthetic, or some combination. Your phone, they cannot see how beautiful you are or what cologne that you're wearing or perfume. All they can go by is what they hear auditory on that phone. So please, when you're doing this, always smile when you make that dial because not when, but you will catch them and you'll know. You'll know also when you don't catch them because not if it happens, when it happens, they will hang up. You will know that there was something that you did that was not right. So we always go by that premise, not if, but when it's going to happen, because I guarantee you it's happened to all of us from time to time. So we were talking about behavior, mindset before we pick up the phone. Now that we've picked up the phone, how does it sound? If you do have the ability to get a wireless way of communicating, I would suggest standing up and walking around or just stand up. It opens up the diaphragm. This way, your full tonality you can command. If you're sitting down, I would advise have a little mirror in front of you, something that you can look at. Before you pick up the blower, take a look at the phone, take a look at yourself, take a look at the mirror, and see if you're in a positive mental state to address that call because someone's paying for that call. Someone has set up a website or advertised in some way. So the customer is reaching out the way they wanted to. Now, if you're in a call center, you've got a list of people to call. But once again, there is an investment involved. Now it's showtime. What are we going to do? And it starts with your tonality. You see, because in phone sales, we have to be mindful of our tone. There's a soft sales skills tone that's vital to your success. When we are coaching ourselves, role playing, practicing, we need to sell over the phone. This is a must. So when we make mistakes like, oh, so I'm sorry, we can't get that back. We need to improve. Our improvement is about how upbeat, how positive, no matter how the day is going, you can turn somebody just because of how your processes and your tonality sound. So when you're selling over the phone, people will immediately sniff out when you're being salesy. Don't be that person. Be yourself. And people on the other end will generally accept it. Tonality plays such a key role in selling over the phone because your voice is your biggest asset. The person on the other end of the line has no more information to understand your message than what's coming out of the earpiece on their phone. There's a tone, communication, firmness, such as when you're asking for the business or firming up an appointment. That's a tone that communicates, tell me more. When are you in the discovery phase? There's also a tone for expressing concern that you've caught someone at a bad time. When we know, because we practice all these things, because not if, but when it does happen, we can be better. So we need to know all these things. What I found in my selling career is that maintaining a genuine, authentic, and authenticated tone will help you out a lot. One of the biggest complaints I always receive from prospects when I do focus groups is that they praise the people that kept it conversational. They hated it when they were noticeably reading from a script. Maybe they were new, maybe they didn't role play enough, but customers can pretty much tell if you're good on the phone or if you're bad on the phone. So there's just five things I want you to focus on, think about before we get off today. Never call the prospect back at the same time. I know there's a lot of theories on that, but just don't do that. If you do that, we already know what's going to happen. They're going to look at it. They're going to think it's a robocall. They've done this before, and they're not having it anymore. We need to find a way to introduce ourselves strong, different, but in conversational tone. Now, we'll talk about the importance of tonality and the other aspects on our next presentation. But once again, Brad and Hardison for Hardison's Tips on this beautiful Wednesday, the 12th day of March. And we know that we're going to get ready and get out there and kill it. It's the middle of the week. We need to make sure we're maintaining our pace. We're almost at the halfway point in the month, so we can do it. But always be brilliant at the basics. Once again, Brandon Hardison signing off. As always, in parting, you go out and you make it a champion day.